One of the most difficult clinical problems in my practice is managing orbital fractures. So these are fractures of the eye socket, and the most common is fractures of the orbital floor, which is the bottom part of the eye socket. When I saw Nicola for the first time in clinic, it was very obvious that she had a sunken right eye. And this is something we commonly see with orbital fractures. Hers was really quite recessed. The clinical examination did indicate that. We looked at the scans, which showed quite a significant fracture. And of course, because it was quite old, the injury was several years beforehand. Much of the tissue is scarred, which makes it extremely difficult to repair at this point. But Nicola not only had the aesthetic problems with the sunken eye, she also felt that there was a lot of tightness and discomfort. And this is really about how we use cutting-edge modern technology to address these problems. At the same time, always focusing on optimizing the aesthetic outcomes while fixing the actual functional problem. So, Nicola, tell us a little bit about what happened and tell us about how you came to get this fracture.
Okay, so quite a few years ago I was assaulted and I had a lot of damage to the right side of my face. It made me very insecure about having pictures taken, just having normal conversations with people because they would notice. And over the years, I've noticed that it's got worse. But ever since having the operation, I'm a lot more confident now. I'm a lot more sort of outgoing. Talk to people more. Because before I used to look down a lot and not really talk to people in the face. So I came to you, and you explained to me that I would need an implant, which I've just had done, and I'm so happy with the results. It looks amazing compared to what it looked like before. Yeah, I'm very happy.
And you've had some surgery done before you came to see me. You had some eyelid surgery.
I thought that by having blepharoplasty it would even things out, but it didn't. It actually made it look worse. But yeah, no, it's a lot better.
I think that's really important because I think whoever you saw probably didn't appreciate or understand the nature of these fractures and how it can change the projection of the eyes and how that can relate to the soft tissues around the eyes. So yeah, I did notice that because the skin had been removed, it actually exposed a lot more of the asymmetry. So as you recall, the first thing we did was scan you, just do a CT scan. And we've now got the technology to actually send those scans off to a modeler who can then design a 3D implant which is perfectly matched to the size of the fracture. And of course the reason that you get the eye sinking in is because a lot of the tissues from the inside the eye socket sink down through the fracture, so we have to plug that gap, put an implant in, and that really works effectively. What we're looking at in this image is 3D reconstruction of the bottom half of the eye socket with the orbital implant, the orbital floor implant in situ. And here we can see the floor of the socket, the nose, and here is where the fracture is. And we can really create this incredible implant which perfectly matches the size of the fracture. And these simply weren't possible a few years ago, which is great. So from the scan, we've created this, and what we have is a template of part of the eye socket. Okay, so that's where the nose is, this is the cheekbone here. And then we have the 3D implant itself, which we can overlay on top of this. This is provided at the time of surgery. It's sterilised, and we use this to try and size it and fit it into the eye. And if we need to shave down the implant, we can do that as well at the same time to really make sure it fits absolutely perfectly. And you know, this really is very cutting-edge technology. And this is some footage from the time of surgery showing how we've just been trimming this implant down to get it to fit in absolutely perfectly, to cover every part of the fracture without causing any impingement and any pressure on any critical structures that we don't want it to. Tell us a bit about what the surgery was like and the recovery.
I was actually really nervous the day of surgery, but everyone, all the nurses, recovery was quick. I didn't feel any pain. There was a little bit of aching, but there was no pain. Within, I think it was about 7 to 10 days, everything had almost gone. You wouldn't have even noticed, really. Yeah.
And one of the reasons for that is we have really interesting techniques to insert these implants now through the inside of the eyelid without any scars. These types of approaches are quite similar to what we do for cosmetic treatments. So, my focus with you was not just to fix the fracture, but to get the best possible cosmetic outcome for you as well, which is really, I think, what it's about. And also doing it in a way that's minimally invasive so that you can recover really quickly. And these are all really, really important considerations when planning this kind of surgery. And we can really do that with this kind of technology.